ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it, taking bad hits, taking back hits. Subscribe for more things.
I will say, yeah, Bleeding Edge has got the bigger booty. Hey, what's up, you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Hot Toys action figure review on Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy movie masterpiece MMS 280 Thanos 1/6 scale collectible figure. If you're trying to pick up one of these, you can pre-order them now at Big.
Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
And big thanks to MarvelousNews.com for helping make this review possible. And this packaging is gigantic. It stands just under 21 inches tall over here. Nice image of Thanos on the space throne, and you get this embossed Guardians of the Galaxy right over here. On the side, you get a bunch of stars in the background. You can see a gridded pattern right over here. Then right over here, you can see the big G, because Thanos is a G. And then on the other side, we get some more stars. On the top, you can see it says Guardians of the Galaxy right there. When you lift the lid, you can see the cast and crew responsible for making the figure. Then on the bottom, there's not much going on. All right, let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's the Sad Titan, formerly known as the Mad Titan, out of the packaging. I only call him the Sad Titan because of the face sculpt on this guy. It does look a bit sad. We'll take a closer look at that later on. But just generally talking about this figure over here, I really do like it. I'm actually quite impressed with this piece, mostly because of the articulation. He is fun to pose around. I feel like if you're going to just have him left in the throne like that forever, I feel like you're missing out. You might as well bought yourself a statue. So it's a pretty good action figure. At the same time, they did seem to skimp on some of the details. You could already see those elbow joints right over there, pretty blatant. But anyway, pretty cool figure. Let's take a closer look at the accessories, and then we'll take a closer look at Thanos. So before you open up your figure, you do want to take a look at the directions. Make sure you read about how you can pose them without ruining the figure, interchange the loincloth pieces, put the batteries in, assemble the base over there. Now he comes with two pairs of hands. You get the fisted hands and the open hands. I wish he had bendy wires in these fingers so that we can get articulated fingers, but oh well. Then we get these two interchangeable loincloth pieces. This one's so that you can put him on there while he's sitting down without ruining it, but both of them are very soft, pliable material. Now I'll show you how to attach those to Thanos later on. And looking at the base right over here, I think this is okay as far as the actual throne goes. Looking at the bottom part though, they didn't actually sculpt anything on there. It's actually just a piece of paper, so it looks alright. You can see a little bit of variations of colors with the grays on there and everything, so yeah. But anyway, when you get this figure out of the packaging, it comes out looking like this with all these pieces, and putting it together is not very complex. I thought it would be very tricky, but it's not. Now looking at this rock detail over here, I mean, I just think this looks really good. I'm really liking this. That's some very well sculpted work. Nice paint apps through and through on there. And as you can see on the top of it right over there, that looks pretty good. Then underneath right here, I'll show how this looks with the lights on and everything like that, which is a little bothersome for me. I'm not a big fan of how that works. But you get these two pieces right over here. It did take a little bit of bending for one of these sides to go in properly, but so far it's been okay. Then you have these two armrests over there. Then you have the back piece of the throne. Here's looking at the side of it. A lot of cracks and cuts in the rock and everything. You get some details sculpted here on the sides of the back of the throne. Looking really cool. Why doesn't it say his name anywhere? No, that'd be hella lame. Can you imagine if it just said Thanos, the Mad Titan on the back or something like that? I don't know. I don't know why I even thought of that. It's a terrible idea. Now, it may just be me, but I feel like I'm seeing just a hint of purple in this rock. I don't know. You let me know if you see it. So here's looking at the LED lights over here, and they're all turned on. One frustrating thing is that the switches to turn these on are actually underneath this part that you have to screw off so that you can insert the batteries. And I think that's very frustrating. I don't know why they couldn't have left a switch on the side or something like that, because the payoff for this is just not really worth it, man. It's frustrating taking all those parts off and then to turn all the lights on. And then, you know, I don't know, it just doesn't look that bright to me. I'll show this in a darker setting in a minute, but just so you can see, you do get one part right here on this armrest, and then on this armrest, and then there's another section that you unscrew, and then you put it in there, and you get the three lights on each side over here, and then this bottom piece where he rests his feet. I actually have these taped in there right there. I put some 3M tape to hold that down, but you get a couple other lights right over here at the bottom of this one. So like I said, it's not really worth it. If they could at least put a plastic tab that would go inside here so that you could just leave the screws out. They did that for the armrest ones, but not for these two bigger pieces. So aside from these lights right here, the only other lights that are on in this room is the main overhead light to this room, and the windows open. So not a whole light coming through here. So you can see these shine okay. It's just okay. It's not terribly bright. Really not enough to make me want to leave this thing on all the time or anything like that. It's pretty impressive as it is without having the lights on. I feel like, I mean, looking from the side, it looks okay. Yeah, that's the best I can give it, is an okay. Then here's a close look at the face sculpt of the Sad Titan, which I don't really like so much as far as the choice of the expression on his face. I wish we got a grinning Thanos or an angrier Thanos. Just looks like a sad Thanos to me, and I'm not a big fan of that, but I do like how the paint came out, and I think the sculpt otherwise does resemble Thanos, and especially Josh Brolin as Thanos, so I think that looks pretty good. Design-wise, I wish Marvel had gone with cutting the lines off up here, you know what I mean? Just having the lines at the bottom would have been nice, huh? The rest of the design separates it enough from the comic version, enough for me to still believe it, you know, so I feel like they didn't have to add those extra lines, but I really like the eyes on this. The eyes are nice and white and beady, nice variations of purple for the lips right there, and the section around the eyes and the eyebrows. So the face sculpt does look really good paint-wise, you know, and the execution of it does look really good. It's just the choice of this expression of his face. It's just, I don't know, a little bit more sad than I'd like to see. Now looking at the gold bits and the purple right here on the side of his helmet, oh my god, man, they just go nuts with the details. I just love that stuff. Oh man, you can just see it just keeps going throughout the whole figure. It just has all these little gashes and stuff like that painted on there, as well as sculpted on there. Here's looking at the top of his helmet, just looking fantastic. Now the purple skin right here does have a little bit of texturing to it. I like how you can see a little bit of the wrinkles right there in the back of his neck. I think that looks pretty sweet. And then we get some really nice sculpted detail right over here on the top right by his shoulder pads. The gold paint looks great with this weathered paint over it. Just love how that came out. Again, some more gashes and lines. We get like this metallic purple right over here, and he has this mesh, the silvery mesh right there. I really like this silverish purplish paint right over here. Then you have a more matted purple section right over there in the armpits. And then this looks really dope right over there with the mesh and the gold piece. So I'm really liking that a lot right here. So much gold. Now, this doesn't really bother me so much right here, but I do understand that it would raise a lot of concerns for other collectors because it's just so flat and goes straight boring right over there. But it's not the only flat, straight, boring part of this figure. You also get it right over there. But I wish they had done something different right there. That just looks very action figure-y, you know? And for me, personally, I don't mind at all. And you get that on the back right over there. But I could totally understand why other collectors would be upset about that, you know? I just disagree with it, but it is there. Anyway, looking at this piece, that looks really good as well. And the hands are painted nicely, too. You get some nice variation of color in the hands. And here's a fisted hand. You can see a wide open hand right over there, sculpted very well. Get like this almost like silvery part on some of the edges right there. Looking really cool. I dig that. Then looking at the lower torso, you get some more paint detail and everything. Starting to see a little bit of a resemblance to the Chitauri. I don't know. I don't have any of the Chitauri Hot Toys. I've seen them at Sean Long's place, but I feel like this design is, I don't know, it's just a little similar to that, but I like that it's different enough that it does set them apart. I mean, there's just so much gold here. I love gold. So the way you take these loincloth pieces off, and they're made out of a soft material, so you're supposed to push them inward right over here. I felt like the directions don't really explain it very well, but you get these pins right here, and you just push in right there and then slide it outward. So here we'll take the other piece that's meant for him to be on the throne and swing that outward, and then there's a center piece right here that tabs in right there. Get that connected and then push this one in and then slide it outward once it's pegged in. Then now you have the new loincloth piece. So, you know, doing that works out okay. It's not terribly difficult, just a little tricky the first time doing it, but other than that, felt like it was alright. Again, that mesh looks really good. Look on the side of the legs. That looks really nice. Just the gold paint throughout on this thing is just outstanding. Just tons of details. They could have just gone with like a nice vibrant gold color throughout without adding the details, but they gave us the vibrant gold with the added details, and I just absolutely love it. And looking right here at the bottom of his feet, look pretty nice. You do see the ankle joint is purple. They could have gone with like a goldish color plastic for that. You know, you can kind of see the purple creeping out from underneath right there, so that could be bothersome. Then looking on the back of the figure over here, yeah, you can see those knee joints kind of look flat, but they kind of match the rest of the thighs over there, so not a whole lot of room for complaining, I think. Then there's a Thanos, but Thanos back, just looking sick, man. Really dig it. Now, while this figure does not have certain points of articulation that I think any adult collectible action figure should have, I do really like having this figure as articulated as it is, because we get to see Thanos do things that we haven't seen him do yet. I mean, so far action-wise, all he's done is sit in the throne and then pick up the Infinity Gauntlet. So having this figure allows me to pose him around, and it's just cool seeing him in new poses. I just really like it. Anyway, we can't get the head to move up, so that's the first one that I'm frustrated with. Nothing at all. It will not go back more than that whatsoever. There's no way. It can move forward though that much, and you do get some side-to-side movement right there, so that's good, and you do get the tiniest bit of neck pivot. Shoulders can move outward that far. You can move them inward pretty well, and he does move the shoulders upward that much. And we do get a little bit of an armpit joint right here at the shoulders. You do get an elbow bend that does meet at 90 degrees. You get side-to-side movement right over there. And then you do have a ball hinge right here for the wrist joint, so you could hinge that up and down and turn it side to side, and you could twist it around any way you wish to. He does not have any torso articulation, and he does have a waist swivel that could bend this much side to side. Really wish he had at least a waist crunching or something like that. Diaphragm joint would have been really nice. Anyway, his hips can move out very far, so you can get him to do that. Now, I do have the loincloth piece that doesn't have the bend up here, but even without the sitting loincloth piece, you can get him kicking that far up, which is pretty nice, and it doesn't really move back too much. You do get an upper thigh swivel. You do get double jointed knees that allow 90-degree movement right there. Now here's the ankle articulation, which I really like a lot. Okay, so he can move his ankles down pretty far. You can get him moving up. It's basically on a ball hinge joint right here, so they can pop off on you, which actually can work to your benefit. It works for my benefit anyway. It can turn side to side over here, but you get this ankle pivot that works in a way where you can turn it inward that much, you see. But if you take this off over here, and I want to demonstrate this, come on, come off, there it goes. You can actually take this peg and then turn it inward like that more, and then reattach it over here, and then now you get some wicked ankle pivot. Look at that. Oh, I'm just so happy. Now to measure this big hopeless romantic, he's standing just under 15 inches tall. Then comparing Thanos to our other Guardians of the Galaxy Hot Toys figures, you can see that he is the second tallest out of all of these. I still think Groot should be just a little bit taller, but I think Thanos looks pretty good in comparison, especially next to Gamora. Then comparing Thanos to some Avengers, you can see him next to the Age of Ultron Mark 43 Iron Man, First Avenger Cap, and Avengers movie Hulk. I feel like Hulk and Thanos should be a little bit closer in size. Then here's our MCU Hot Toys Thanos compared to the classic Thanos from Marvel Select, and then we have the modern Thanos from Marvel Legends. And you can see that he does not have any blue on him. It's just a purple costume right here, as opposed to the classic having the blue and then the modern one having the very dark navy blue. That doesn't bother me though. Having the purple instead of blue, I still think it looks really cool. And then here's Thanos next to the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. Yeah, I would be scared, but you don't even have the Infinity Gauntlet. What could you do? No! 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 So look at that, man. I'm stoked I can get this Thanos figure in this pose over here. I think it's a pretty dynamic pose. I like this figure a lot, and I don't think this is going to be the ultimate Thanos figure ever made. Of course, he does not come with the Infinity Gauntlet, and I do prefer a different head sculpt for this guy. But for what we have right here, I think this is awesome. I really dig it, and I hope you guys dug my review. If you did, please hit the like button. Click any of these boxes over here if you want more Shart in your face. If you're over the age of 18 or older, please check out the Patreon account. And if you're any age, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and go to marvelousnews.com for a photo gallery of images from this review. I'll catch you guys later. Peace!
Posing action figures, and posing action figures, and posing action figures every day. I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures.
That's crispy.
So I gotta put that right back. Okay.